You're tuned to Vibes FM. I am Sarah C. And today's special guest is Savannah. She's part of the Indignation Collective. She's newly signed to RCA and Six Course, and she's just released a brand new EP, Be Somebody. Savannah, welcome to Vibes FM. We're really pleased to have you with us.
Thank you for having me, Sarah. I'm excited to be here.
Do you know, the last time I saw you, you were at the Scala with Remain Virgo, rocking some outrageous heels and a flowery dress.
That sounds like me. That sounds like me for sure. Yeah.
It was definitely you. And I was thinking, what a jazzy sound you had. And it kind of goes with this whole, I'm calling it like a genre busting renaissance that's going on in Jamaica.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Jamaicans, yeah, we create music and sometimes it comes out sounding differently. I mean, definitely over the history of our music, we've created 15 different genres. So I definitely agree with you to say that it sounds genre busting just because like that's the history of Jamaican culture, for us to be busting out this new sounds and for it to be impacting the world and influencing the soundscape globally.
100%. So much so that the last section of my show I now call Pushing the Boundaries. And I've been
Oh,
featuring that kind of music because
yeah.
reggae no longer belongs to Jamaica, although it comes from Jamaica. And there's still an authentic sound that comes from Jamaica, but reggae has taken over the whole world. There are
It has,
reggae
for
bands in
sure.
China, there's reggae bands in Germany, there's reggae bands in Malaysia. There,
Mhm.
it's everywhere.
It is
So
everywhere.
it's amazing to see people like Tessellated doing that jazz sound, and I
Mhm.
think it's just that a lot of people get in their reggae bubble, and they don't
Yeah,
necessarily see those things
yeah,
because there
yeah.
are a lot of Jamaican artists doing their thing that's not reggae, but I think quite often us reggae DJs don't get to find those things out all the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
definitely feel that that's true. I think that a lot of the exported music, I think, especially foreign media outlets, they're looking for it to sound a particular way because that's what they're used to selling. But it isn't new. What I'm doing isn't new. What Tess is doing isn't new. You have had, Jamaican artists in the past doing reggae in a pop format or dance hall in a pop format. There's just like there are really no rules. And yeah, we're and really what it is us being ourselves. This is how the music is interpreted through us being from the Caribbean and being Jamaica. So it is, it sounds how it sounds, and I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of myself, really proud of Tess. He's making some huge waves as far as like getting awards and charting and so on. So I'm proud of us.
yeah, I think it's really good to see, and I think sometimes it's just that maybe someone sees someone from Jamaica but doesn't realize they're Jamaican because they're not singing reggae. Maybe there's a bit of that as well.
Yeah, maybe. But it all has to do with a reimagining of what Jamaica shows up like, right? Because we're so dimensional and we're so nuanced as a people. So I think that if people can manage to give a second thought about, oh well, you know what, maybe not, or you know what, maybe this is, you know.
That's right. Open your mind and your ears. Now, I know I want to talk about the EP, but I cannot skip over Nobody Man and Sometime Love
Okay,
because they were huge,
I love
huge,
those.
huge, huge. And I'm thinking they're kind of autobiographical.
Nobody mind was definitely me being upset that people thought that I was after their boyfriends, which is such like a like never, right? Yeah, I just honestly, genuinely, I get turned off from men who are in relationships. Like once I find out, even if I had a crush, for the most part. I mean, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I wrote that out of frustration, honestly, because I had a close friend of mine who is a guy, and his girlfriend thought that I was after him, even though like I met her and we hung out, which ultimately didn't have anything to do with me. It was her own insecurity, and like they're fine and they work through it. But like, and then sometimes love, yeah, it's just about me not wanting people who are flip floppy and like don't know what they want. It's like, oh, I love you so much, but then tell you the story, right? I was dating this guy long distance. He was a Christian. Um, And within the first month or 2 months of knowing me, he was just like, I love you and blah, blah, blah. And so when I went to go see him, you know, it went really well. And then after a time, he was just like, oh, I just feel like your feelings are more developed than mine. Like another month passed and he completely switched. So yeah, that was what Sometime Love is about. Just like people who know who they are and will be consistent in how they show me affection or attention or give me time. Yeah.
I think especially when it's counterintuitive, raise your standards. That's what I always say. Whenever it's not working, raise your standards. Never lower them to suit somebody else.
Exactly. Listen, you deserve that as a woman. You deserve somebody who is able to be consistent with you and who is able to prioritize you and who is able to communicate like clearly and correctly. So raise your standards always. Never dress them back.
Do you know, in the 1960s, Jesse Jackson used to tell everybody to chant and look in the mirror, I am somebody.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of that when I listen to your song, Be Somebody.
That's lovely. I love that. I mean, I definitely know too that at the end of, I forget the name of the song, so I shouldn't even be really bringing it up, but it was a protest song where he was talking about, this is a black man, and he was singing about, oh, it goes, is it because I'm black? That was the, and at the end of that song, he was just like, I just wanna be somebody, I wanna be, not my melody or anything, but I heard it recently and I was just like, look at that. Like for decades, you know, black people have been saying it in some way or another. Not to make it about blackness, but, you know, inescapably so, I am a black woman. But I thought that was, I don't know, I thought that was dope hearing that. I loved it.
Yeah, well, it's a serious message, isn't it? And I think it is about black people, but I think also what makes a great song is that it's relatable to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I love that you started with that. I really enjoyed that. And then
Thank
you can flip it over and go fun.
Yeah.
And we can go straight for a mango.
Yeah.
I do have a bone to pick with you about the mango.
Yes.
For those of us that aren't Jamaican, because as I understand it, and it might be even a snobbery thing, that the East Indian mango has it slightly over the Julie mango.
I think that people who think that are wrong. I don't know. I just feel like the Julie is consistent in its taste, and then it doesn't have that stringy thing where it leaves it in your teeth like the East Indian, right? And then the Julie is, it's such a perfect size, right? So that you eat that and you don't feel overfull, or you don't have to like eat it and put it down and go back to it. It's just like a perfect, you know, little meal, versus the East Indian, which is just always too big. It's like, it doesn't compare, honestly. But you know, people who love East Indian more than Julie, they'll catch up eventually, I think, and they'll be writing to me that they were wrong, and I'm looking forward to that.
I hope you have a large post box. I hope you have a large post box.
But also, I do want to take it back to Be Somebody and big up Charlie and Benji. They're from the UK, right, where you're from.
Yes.
And I was in the studio with them last summer, and yeah, I loved working with them so much. How
did you get them on the track? How did you get them even on the EP?
Well, how was it? I think it was Protege who knew them, and then I was in London and I was like, hey, I'm trying to link up with some producers, and then they were just like, yeah, I'm available, come to the studio, and yeah, it just happened.
Because all the rest of the people are Jamaican, aren't they, that are on the album, or Jamaica based, or Miami, which is kind of Greater Jamaica?
Not quite. There is a gentleman, his name is Kelsey Gonzalez, and he's based out of LA, and he's part of the Free Nationals that plays with Anderson .Paak. So yeah, but everybody else is Jamaican or Jamaican born.
Because I heard you like to get right into their business when they're in the studio and tell them how the rhythm should go.
No, I like to, you know, it's really important that the sound matches how I imagine it in my head. And I feel like for every artist as well, so it's not just me, like once you're a singer or a musician, like you want to, because that's how you curate a unique voice, right? It matches what's inside of your head so that it doesn't sound like everything else. So I am quite, what's it called? strongly suggestive, or I collaborate. That's what I call it. I'm collaborative about how the sound should sound, and everybody has been welcoming. Like, it's been a smooth process for everybody. So there certainly isn't a problem, and I think that they welcome it. So yeah.
I think I read, and I think it was written with a smile, but I read that Protege said, when Savannah has an idea, get out of the way.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm a bit of a bulldozer when it comes to just seeing my ideas through to the end. Like, I'm never trying to step on anybody's toes, but yes, this is what it is. Usually I have a fully fledged developed idea, and I'm like, oh, I just want this person to work on it, this person, and he's like, and then he's always like, okay, I see it, I understand it. Good luck. Let me know when you're done, you know? So yeah.
And how do you capture your musical ideas? Do you play an instrument? Do you sing it into a voice note?
I sing it into a voice note. I play instruments, but like, I wouldn't say that that's where it comes from per se. It's more in my mind, like me writing it, me having a melody to flesh out. Um, yeah, yeah. But I understand enough of instruments to be like, oh, this chord, this phrase, this, you know, progression.
100%. And you even do your own styling. You really are. It literally is just coming right out of you, isn't it?
It is. It is. And yeah, I have a huge interest in styling, so why not pour that back into the music I'm trying to make, you know? So yeah, I usually, whenever I create something, I there will be visuals in my mind around it to support it, you know, and then I'm always looking at different fashion that's coming on, different aesthetics, and I'm always just trying to experiment and throw myself into different spaces. So I yeah, nothing stops me from um I don't know, putting pearls all over my face or putting clips all through my hair and just being like, okay, I'm gonna try this and this is what I'm gonna do for this song. Um yeah. I like playing in fashion and aesthetics.
You look like you're having the most amazing fun with it.
I am. I am. I really am. I love it. It's so expressive. It's like its own art form. You know, I'm really passionate about that, actually.
And it's amazing because we spoke to Lila Ike actually a little while ago, and your musical styles are very different. And I think your
No.
personalities are very different, but you have the same thing in common. I was saying that she could have called her EP The Experiment. And it seems
Yeah.
like both of you have just been given, I don't know if it's because of Indignation or if it's because of the RCA deal or quite what the reason is, but it seems as if, or maybe it's Protege's leadership, but it seems
Mm.
like you just have this amazing platform where you just feel free and confident to just try everything in your wildest dreams.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's just about us expressing ourselves creatively and not putting any boundaries on that. And that is certainly the environment that is fostered, being, you know, just listening to Protege, because like that's what he does, right? So yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of you feel being emboldened to be yourself, and that's really all that we're doing, and that's really all that I'm doing. You know, it's not performing for the sake of anyone else, or trying to fit this because this sells more or anything like that. It's just like, I have these visions in my mind, I have this sound that I want to create, and that's what I'm going to do, just because that's how it makes sense to be an artist. You know what I mean?
Well, that's how
If you
you get to blaze new trails, isn't it? And that's how you get to
true.
be individual rather than just jump on a pattern because everyone's doing a summer song.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you're not doing the art and you're not being honest about it, like, and you're not being yourself, then what's the point, you know? You're just going to end up lost by the end of it. And then because this whole thing that happens around creating music, where you get more visible and more people know your name and so on, like, if you're performing it, you know, if it's not you and you're pretending to be somebody else, very quickly you eventually people will tear you down, and then that, where does that leave your self-esteem, right? Where does that leave your sense of identity? So I think it's important for me to build on top of honoring myself, build on top of being honest about who I am, and that for me means creating the sound how I imagine it, and looking like how I want to look.
Because it's not going
Autonomy.
to autonomy.
Yeah.
I like that, goes really well with authority, by the way.
Hmm.
I always used to use that at work. You need authority and autonomy.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you went to Senegal to do
I
a
did.
video.
I did.
Jamaica, then just popped to Senegal. How did you, was that your idea?
No, actually, I was in Senegal for work. There are different things that I'm passionate about. Can I go turn off my oven real quick?
You can, yes, I think it's a good idea because you don't want to burn whatever it is.
Yeah. Okay, here we are. I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Right. No, so I went to Senegal for work. There is a film series called The Just and the Blind, The Just and the Blind, and it's three parts, right? The first part was filmed in the United States, which I didn't have anything to do with, but the second film was filmed in Jamaica, right? And then I ended up being the assistant director on that project because I brought all of some really key pieces together, and then the director was just like, I mean, you're already doing that kind of work, because I knew him from having met him on set one time, and he linked me to kind of put some pieces in place as far as like getting a crew together and the location sorted and so on. So he was just like, do you want to be the AD because you're already doing the work? And so I kind of just threw myself into it because of the subject matter, which really was centered around institutionalized racism and what it looks like in the Caribbean, what it had looked like in the US for when they did it, and what it looks like in Africa, right? So having worked on the second film and really believing in the message that they were trying to communicate, right? Which is, I think that was the only reason I was just like, yeah, I'll be the AD, because I wanted to help to see it through, especially because I felt so close to it, because it's like a part of my life, the experience. Yeah, so that's why I was in Africa, to kind of just be AD on the third film in the series. And so I went there. Yoram Savian, he's the director, he was there as well, working on it. We're networking and scouting and just setting up the foundation for us to go back to get the film done. And we basically did a really good job at just getting the work done quickly, or not quickly, but with enough time left. And then because I kept replaying the first single off of the EP, which was released about a month ago now, If You Only Knew, he was just like, do you want to do a music video for that? And then I was just like, yeah, I can do a music video. So we wrote the storyboard, a really rough storyboard. And then I went into the markets of Senegal and got the fabrics and the pants that you see in the video and the dress that you see on the staircase, and kind of just styled myself and just, yeah, use the different modes of transportation to kind of, drive the message of, how far I'll go for you, how far people go for each other when they're in love. And then also just being in Senegal, it did impact the meaning of the song. It wasn't lost on me that the connection between Africa and Caribbean, as far as like the slave trade, right, where they stole people and enslaved them. And I ended up visiting Gorée Island, where I kind of just saw where they held them, and it was incredibly emotional and impactful. So for me, the song kind of just started to feel like, wow, I'm talking about in the song how far I'll go for somebody, and here I am, literally at the root of where a lot of my people have come from. So it evolved the meaning to, you know, just like the expanse of Black love. We've been displaced, but we've managed to be resilient and still be graceful for the most part, and still be able to pour into each other and love each other, yeah. So that's why I was in Senegal, and that's why the video ended up being shot there, most of it anyway, because the water scene was shot in Jamaica.
That's brilliant. And do you have plans to go back?
I do want to go back, but COVID, and we have to be careful about like restrictions and so on. And every country has the very like, the rules are quite hectic as far as when you're visiting in COVID.
Pretty sure none of us are going anywhere right now.
No, not for now. Not for now.
But it won't last forever. It won't last forever.
It won't. It can't.
No, it can't last forever. And you're originally from Savannah.
I am.
I want to say made famous by a Bob Dylan song, but there's probably been many songs about Savannah.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know that Bob Dylan song.
I'm going to send it to you.
How does it go? What is it?
I'd be hilarious if I sang it. It's all about a woman who was from Savannah, Lamar. He
Really?
kind of liked her. Yeah, he kind of liked her. She was pretty
Oh, I
special.
didn't know that. I have to go listen to it afterwards. But yeah,
I'll link it. I'll send it to Shanice.
okay,
But
dope.
yeah,
Yeah,
it won't be tuneful, but you'll think maybe it's you.
no, I don't think so. I don't think I was born when Bob Dylan was.
No, I'm
Uh,
pretty sure you weren't. I'm pretty sure you weren't.
yeah, but
But
no,
Savannah
but
Lamar's an amazing place, isn't it?
it is. How was it for me though? I mean, that's why I called myself Savannah, because I'm from Savannah Lamar, right? To kind of just remember my beginnings. And this interview, so it's getting very deep on all ends, but I grew up really poor, like days without food kind of poor, not having the right shoes to go to school kind of poor, like they're falling off your foot because they're like ruined from having worn them for too many semesters. But that's how I remember Sav. I remember it as being the like my training ground for life, because people didn't, when you show up in the world as look like as a dark skinned little girl with nothing, people don't pretend to treat you in any way. You know what I mean? Like they don't spare your feelings as far as like what they think about you, you know? And yeah, it was a very high impact life, yeah, it was hard. It was hard. And so I think, I mean, it's beautiful. It's coastal. It's by the sea. There's a breeze going through. It's really hot, right? There's traffic. It's congested. There's beautiful plains that we used to run up and down on. But like what I remember of it is really just my experience of learning my value and deciding that I was going to be more than my circumstances. And that's what Savannah Lamar means to me. Not so much the look of it or like the location of it, but how it helped to develop my character.
Does that make the success all the sweeter though? Does that make the be somebody all the more meaningful?
I think so, because again, another story. When I finished writing the song "Be Somebody" for the EP, it triggered a memory where I had written a piece of poem that was called "Be Somebody" over 10 years ago now, right? When I was still experiencing life in Sav. And so when I went back to read it, and then when I looked at the song lyrics too, I was just like, oh, this is the ending of that story. That's the ending of that piece of message in my life. And so that's why I even ended up naming the EPP Somebody, just because it was like, oh, that's it. That's the name of the EP. It's fated. And it feels fated to me, this whole EP. But yeah, it definitely makes me feel like there isn't anything I couldn't get over, overcome, or conquer, because I've been through so much and I'm still living, you know.
But you could
um
argue thriving.
yeah, yeah, especially in the middle of a pandemic. That's like, it's crazy, but yeah, it
There's a
does
guy
it.
where I stay actually in Jamaica, and he's amazing, and he doesn't have much, and he's not particularly blessed with anything, and he just runs about saying, "Give thanks for life, give thanks for life," and it really makes you realize that you may have started in that way, but you've obviously found some way to pick yourself up and to educate yourself and to grow and to grow and to grow till you're at this flourishing point. And these are
Yeah,
special skills. And if you can sing about them and then maybe someone else can hear them, this is, I think,
I
what
think
makes the
ignored
difference.
yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the most that we can hope for, I think, to inspire and to empower and to uplift, you know. Yeah, I want the music, and I want what I do. I want my music and actions to make you stop and think, to challenge you, to inspire you. I want it so that my existence is useful to other human beings, especially since I was given these gifts.
Exactly. And spirit is a big one.
Yeah.
Now, I'm guessing that the RCA 6 course has kind of given you a slightly better reach. It's been giving you all the great media and all those things. So you'll get all of that. But do you dare to dream about the next step? Because I know Protege's been doing work with Alicia Keys. And how does chapter 3 look? If this is chapter 2, chapter 3 is looking pretty special, I'm guessing.
Listen, I'm gonna work even harder for the album, for the next chapter, as you put it. I've already started, and I am really excited. And I haven't necessarily said, "Oh, I'm definitely gonna work with XYZ," but I certainly know that the opportunities will be even more fruitful. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But as
100%.
yeah, but I really, the only thing I've kind of like, what's it called, projected so far as for the next project is just me doing even better than I did for this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
compete with yourself and do a little better every day, then you go
Yeah.
from being a poor kid in Savannah to a fabulous, glorious, beautifully
Fabulous.
spoken, highly talented.
Yeah.
I don't even
That's,
know. Is it like street style glam? Street style glam meets some kind of vaudeville. I
yeah.
don't know where.
Yeah, we could call it that. We could call it that. We could call it street style glam. Definitely, yeah, for sure. That, I think that's perfect actually, because there is a bit of glamour surrounding how I kind of want to dress myself right now, and there is also that street element to it for sure.
And even a little burlesque.
Yes, this is
What is
true.
what is with the hair pulling, young lady?
Oh, there is no hair pulling. That's my brother holding my hair. He's not pulling it. And really, the art. I love that we've gotten to this part of the conversation. But the art on the EP cover that you're seeing, a lot of people immediately they've sexualized it. You know what I'm saying? So
I went
what?
burlesque. I didn't go sexual.
I know. Not you,
Yeah.
not you haven't sexualized it.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying people
Mhm.
have. And a lot of people are just like, oh my God, how dare you? Like, you're not like the other dance hall girls. Don't do this. We love you. Stay true to who you are. And it's kind of like, well, this is who I am. The artwork for the EP, it really is signifying me daring to be all of who I am, embrace all the sides of who I am, my femininity, my will to just show up in the world and do what I need to do. You know what I mean? Fulfill my purpose. And then the hair holding, because I was on set and I asked my brother, I was like, could you hold my hair? Right? Because he had made the top. So he was there to make sure that the top wouldn't be moving around and so on and so forth. So yeah, what it means for me, him holding the hair, is just everybody who has ever had anything to say in what's it called, in objection to me and my life and my existence, right? So it's for everybody who has said that, oh, you're too dark skinned, you can't wear this particular thing, or maybe you should just stick to like the bit too shy sound. That's your sound, that's your lane, you should do this. Or it's gonna be hard for you, because you have this kind of a way that you look at things and this XYZ. So it's kind of just me showing where people will be trying to hold me back, right? Holding the hair, but I'm still gonna be, I'm still going to be daring to be all that I am, you know, you know. And I thought it was interesting too that because you could see the side of my derriere, you could see the side of my derriere that people are just like, oh my God, you have the garter and the side of your bottom is showing. What is that about? And it's like, wow, like I identified that art form. It's called classicism, and I'm gonna get a little bit deeper again,
Mhm.
but and I kind of saw the space as being very saturated with white people, right? And I love
Completely,
all.
I would say. Completely,
Yeah,
I would say.
exactly. So I kind of, and that also too, again, just me being a dark-skinned Black woman, every one of my actions are politicized, not because I politicize them, right? But I couldn't ignore too that being a woman, being dark-skinned, that people are just going to, it's just it's gonna call my race into question. And I was, with that cover, I was daring to just impose myself into all spaces. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like me having the audacity to be more than what people are saying that I am, to be even not what they expect that I am, but it's still being 100% authentically me. So that cover is really important for me, and I'm happy that people are provoked by it, and I'm happy that it is in it's triggering thought, because I think that's the responsibility of an artist too, right? Where the music that you make or the visuals that you create is kind of like prompts conversation, and it changes, or maybe people just get upset and they move on. But either way, it's like, it's not something that is just like, oh, okay, cool, that's fine, and you get to look it over. It's something that will for a second make you go, I'm gonna go, but hopefully for people, they think about why they had a reaction to it. But yeah, that's the cover Be Somebody for me.
I think too, though, going back to the whole sexualization issue, is that I think it's wonderful that a woman, a lady who doesn't want nobody's man, who doesn't want some sometime love, can still be sexy. It doesn't mean just because you feel that way, you have to run around in a long skirt and some high boots and some lady gloves.
Exactly. And listen, you being queenly, you being an empress, right? Because immediately, looking like how I look, the what they try to do is just like, especially because I'm affiliated with Protege and he's a Rastafarian, which I totally get. The assumption is that, yeah, man, empress, right? And what empress means for these men and women who say it is somebody who is, what's it called, dressed modestly all the time, right? And that's their idea of what that means, not mine. And then also, Protege's identity isn't my identity, right? And while he fully understands it, I think people will be struggling for some time to be like, okay, well, how is he Rastafarian? And then she is, daring to not have the longest skirt ever on, but again, it comes back to autonomy. It comes back to me being honest with myself. It comes back to me really just testing my boundaries and daring and having the audacity to be my fullest self. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe I'm sounding
Yeah,
like
I think it makes 100% sense. And I think that
yeah,
you're defined by your actions, not by your clothes.
exactly. And it's just so interesting that we keep reducing women to their buttocks, right? To their bottom, because you could see the side of our bottom, and then like immediately that's all they saw. They saw the garter, and they're like, immediately, yes, this is sex. That's all she's selling her body now. And it's like, wait, what?
No, it was
Is
fun. It
that
was burlesque and I loved it.
Yeah, is that how limited you see yourself, like your own experience? Because that has everything to do with you, and you cannot see somebody be themselves or be anything, right? With and what's it called? Think that it means exactly what you think it is, or I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, it's all interesting and it's exciting, and yeah, you can accept me and support me, or you could ignore me and leave me out of your thoughts. And either way, I'm okay with it, because I'm being me, and I'm working on myself, and I'm going to continue to do that, you know.
It's absolutely lovely. We've only got a couple of minutes left, but I just wanted to say, blessed. You truly are. The new EP is absolutely delightful. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I hope whatever's in the oven is fantastic.
Yeah, I think it will be. Thank you so much. I really love your spirit and your energy. Thank you for your time.
Brilliant. I'm going to forward on the Bob Dylan song.
Okay.
Before I let you
All
go,
right.
do you have 2 minutes of a message for the Vibes FM listeners?
I would just say, yeah, be yourself. It's we're in a time where people are just really concerned with meeting certain milestones, you know, the different milestones that society has set for you as far as like what success looks like. It doesn't have to be yours. Find the thing that you are meant to be doing in this life. Usually that's indicated by the kind of things that you're already naturally good at. And yeah, you can overcome anything, you can do anything, and you are valuable and worthy, and know that, you know. Yeah, that's all I'd say, because that's what I've been like saying to myself.
Brilliant. The new EP, Be Somebody, is out now.
Okay.
Yay. Fantastic. Yay. Thank you so much. What is in the oven? Come on.
Oh, it's just bread. I was toasting bread. I was gonna make a peanut butter and guava sandwich, like guava jelly sandwich.
Ah, peanut butter and guava jelly. That's good.
It's very good. It's what Americans would call peanut butter and peanut butter and what do I call it?
Jello. Yeah. They call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peanut butter, not so good.
No, it's good. Unless you're allergic. I don't know if you are.
No, peanut porridge all day long. Peanut butter.
Peanut porridge is incredible. No, it's the crunchy peanut butter though, not the soft one.
Oh no, I don't know. It's not happening. Listen, have a lovely, it's not even evening for you, it's kind of lunchtime. Have a wonderful day. Keep doing the awesome things. Don't listen to anybody's nonsense.
I will. Thank you.
And thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
For sure. Thank you for your time, Sarah. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Bye. Bye.